listening to The Power of Being Positive, helping you discover strategies to unleash the uplifting, energizing, and motivating power of being positive and the awesome effects that it can have in your life. Getting ready to power you up in 3, 2, 1.
Well, welcome back to The Power of Being Positive. I'm David Clark, your host, and today we're going to cover a topic that really, on the outside, can be perceived as something pretty negative. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to help you look at this issue and basically flip it into something that can be really positive and can really, really help you move forward in a positive way with everything that you do. So, as we know, failure, for the most part, it sucks. You know, you hate failing mainly because a lot of times you've not been able to complete a task. So, obviously, it makes you feel like less of a person when you fail. And the other thing about failure is the reason people don't try things is because they're scared that they're going to fail. So, failure has got an effect on people that they don't even realize how strong it is. Because basically, failure institutes fear. I mean, it does. It makes you scared, right? Because you're scared to fail. You know, but why are you scared to fail, really? It's not because you're scared of falling, right? But you're scared of the pain that comes after failing. The feeling inside of not accomplishing your goal or the big target that you had set. But there's another thing about failure and the fear of it that really is the root cause of why people fear it the most. And I'll give you 2 seconds to take a guess real quick. Okay. Look, the real reason why you're scared and you're scared of failure is you're scared of what people are going to say when they see you fail. Let that sink in. And that's the truth, right? You are so scared of what people are going to say when you step out and take a risk, and you're scared of them making fun of you, of them picking at you. And it's not the random stranger that you're scared of. The person that you're scared of most making fun of you are your friends and your family. You're scared of looking like a dummy in front of your best friend or your wife or your husband or mom or your dad because you jumped out and you took a risk. Or you just stepped out and you just did something that they weren't even familiar with how to do. Otherwise, they would have done it already. So understand that the number one thing about failure that you've got to realize and that you've got to get over is your friends and family, if they're real friends, if they really care about you, they want to see you succeed. They want to see you succeed. They even want to have a hand in helping you succeed. So when it comes to failing and you getting scared of what your friends are, I don't know if you've ever heard this saying before, but I only mess with you because I like you. Have you ever heard that phrase before? I only give you a hard time because I like you. Generally, that's true. Because first off, it would take a lot of guts for a random stranger to accost you for trying something that they in themselves didn't have the guts to do. So getting over the fear of, like, hey, look, even this podcast for me, when I finally record, after I record this episode, I'm going to officially launch everything. I'm going to share it out with all my friends and family and everybody else. And I'm going to let them know about this podcast. And I'm a little scared and I'm intimidated. And so understand that I'm even through this podcast, I'm overcoming my own fears. So anyway, so again, realize that your fear of failure, first and foremost, is what's causing you to not move forward and really not fail at all. Because if you don't do anything, there will be no result. And your friends and family, they're making fun of you and they're playing around with you, but deep down, they want you to be successful because who doesn't want their friends and family to be successful and to be awesome at what they do? Okay? So go ahead and get over all of this as you work through failure and how to look at failure in a positive way. Because that's what we want to try to do here in this episode is we want to help you like, all right, you've overcome your fear of failure. You've gone out there, you've taken your first step, and you've had your first fall. Now what? So what's next? What is it that you do next now that you've fallen? What you want to do is you want to curl up in a ball. You want to hide. You want to just curl up in a ball somewhere, not show your face to the world, and you don't ever want to try to do this thing again, and you just feel beat down. Well, look, here's a few ways. I've got a few different ways for you to reposition fear or reposition failure in your mind once it happens. I'm a big guy and you got to have a vision for yourself. And with vision, you've got your vision of where you want to go, and you've got your path that you've picked to go there. And ultimately, there's a higher hand involved in really guiding you to where you need to go. So what you've got to look at failure as is you have your ultimate goal of where you want to get to, but it just might not be the right path for you to get there. So the reason you're failing at a certain point in your journey is because that's not the right path for you to get to where you're going to go. Maybe you took a shortcut somewhere. Maybe you tried to speed up the process a little bit too much. And guess what? Failure is only just the course correction to get you back on the right path. Maybe you veered off the path a little bit. Maybe you've kind of gone the wrong direction. You started down the wrong hole, so you failed. So you'd have to stop. So failure will make you do a hard stop, realize what you did, and then back on the right path. So don't look at failure as a bad thing. Again, failure is only a course correction. That's it. Okay, so the second way to look at failure as a positive thing. Failure is an opportunity to understand your weaknesses better. So it gives you the opportunity to see where you're weak, and it gives you the opportunity to see where you need to improve. So by doing this, it highlights your weaknesses. So failure tells you where you need to go to improve and get stronger and better. So there's a saying that the road to success is made through many failures. And that's true. What you have to do is when you fail, you've got to get excited about it and understand that you've got to be able to tell yourself mentally that, all right, this is good. This is a good thing. And I'm going to get to learn something really cool. And I'm going to get better and stronger at whatever the task or the skill is that I need to progress. That, again, that's just the great thing about failure when you look at it in this way. For example, this podcast, I've tried to launch this thing about 5 or 6 times now. And I've learned valuable lessons every time that I've hit a roadblock. And every time that something didn't record right, I had to re-record this episode, large chunks of it, completely and totally because of a recording issue. And then when I tried to launch this whole podcast into the App Store, there were several things that I had to do over and over and over again. So look at it as it's going to make you stronger, faster, and better so that the next time that you face something similar to this, you're going to be able to overcome it so fast and so easy that you wish you would have been able to fail at it sooner. You would have been able to learn these lessons sooner. Because the more you fail, the more you're pushing yourself past your limit, the stronger that you're going to get at all of these skills that you need to be successful. Because if you look at the most successful people in the world, they've had tons and tons of failures, and they have tons and tons and tons of skill. One of the things that I read recently from an influencer that I like to follow on positivity is he said that learners are winners. So listen to that. The more you learn, the more you will win. So failure is an opportunity for you to learn, which is setting you up for a big win. And the third thing that I think about when I'm trying to turn failure into something positive is that the reason that you failed is that there are other things that you're supposed to do first. There are other situations that are supposed to happen first. there's so much stuff going on around you that there may be other things that you're supposed to experience first before you get to where it is that you want to go. I know where I am now in my life, never in a million years would I thought that I would be in this exact position. I never would have been able to imagine it. And there are other experiences that people are having around me that I'm learning from, that I feel like I've been put in this place to learn from these other experiences before I'm allowed to move forward. So let me reel that back. I hope that isn't getting too crazy or off the cuff for you. But I want you to kind of think about it. So when you fail at something, or when your path seems slowed, like things just aren't clicking the way you want them to, you're like, boom, I'm doing this, boom, I'm doing that, boom, I'm doing this, but things just aren't happening. I'm going through this right now. Things are not just happening the way that I want them to. So I feel like I'm failing or letting somebody down because I feel like I'm not pushing hard enough. But ultimately, what you have to realize is you put in your best attitude and effort every single day towards your goal. And the reason things aren't happening yet is because there are other things that are supposed to happen for you in order to get where it is that you want to go. Other people have got to have these other experiences around you that you can take in, so that you learn from those experiences as well and you move forward. What I want to kind of resonate with everybody is that failure is not a bad thing. Failure sucks and it hurts initially, but if you can stop and take a deep breath and look at failure in more of a positive way, right? If you unlock the positivity in every situation and or someone presents a problem to you, say, all right, cool, awesome. That just means that I get to figure out another way to do something. Again, failure is not a bad thing unless you perceive it to be a bad thing, because ultimately your failures are what make you into the person that you are. You know, I have another saying, it's like what breaks you makes you. So just remember that. The things that break you are the things that make you into the individual and the person you are, because you are a very unique person. And your experiences, plus your failures, plus the things that you've learned through reading different books and perception and people you've been around, make you completely unique and give you a very unique skill set to overcome problems that you have in the future. Let go and, let things work themselves out the way that they should. Keep yourself positive, keep yourself moving forward, and never let a failure stop you in your tracks forever. So if you feel motivated to move forward in a certain direction, called that direction, then you need to follow it through. Just because you get called in a direction, feel an urge to do something or move a specific direction, it's just like anything else. You've been pointed that way. It doesn't mean that you have the ability to overcome everything. You don't have all the skills yet, but it's like, hey, you need to look this direction. You need to learn. You need to grow. You need to go this way. And I promise you that once you understand that you're going to fail all along the way, and that you should look at it as a minor course correction to get you right back on the right path, as it's only a way to find your weaknesses. 3, there's some other things that are meant to happen along the way that you're supposed to learn from. So keep your attitude and your effort and your positivity high, and it'll all end up working out in the time that it's supposed to work out. Look, I appreciate you listening. I'm going to try to do one of these every 2 weeks or so. And I hope this brought some kind of uplifting view to you for failure. So with that, signing off. And if you have an opportunity and you can do so, please just leave me a review. When you leave a review, leave me a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what you'd like to hear more of. So with that, have an awesome day. And I look forward to talking to you all more sometime soon. Bye.
You've been listening to the Power of Being Positive podcast. To get more tips sent to your inbox, visit powerofbeingpositive.com.